All right, question of the day. We're going to talk about Jordan Love in this video. I asked you, what are your thoughts on Jordan Love? You gave me some answers, so we're going to get into that. Your question for tomorrow, it might not be tomorrow actually, but whatever, whenever I decide to do it next time. Question of tomorrow, more of an expression than anything. What are your thoughts on Mac Jones? Let's keep the trend of young quarterbacks going. How do you feel about Mac Jones? Give me a 1 to 2 sentence response to what your thoughts are on him, and I might use it in tomorrow's video. But for today, we do have some, some comments to talk about, so let's talk about it. Firstly, I do appreciate all the comments talking, wishing well wishes to my dog. As I mentioned last video, she is feeling under the weather. Still not 100%, but she is starting to get better. There was a point when she wasn't able to, if she would drink water, she was just throwing it right back up, which was kind of scary. But she's past that now. She is, holding food down. Still, not 100%, but feeling better, and doesn't appear to be anything serious. So appreciated all the well wishes there. Little Rhino doing okay. Anyways, for the actual comments, for what you're here to see, first comment, they need to trade Love. He's doing nothing behind Rodgers. Maybe my Seahawks could pick him up, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. Yeah, the Seahawks, they have Drew Lock. What do they need another quarterback for? Weird stuff going on there. One interesting thing about the Jordan Love stuff, though, is one issue with this, and we're kind of seeing this with Baker Mayfield a lot as well, where it's like these quarterbacks that don't have a ton of control, you care less about. Because if Jordan Love does go out and is successful right away, let's say the Seahawks do trade him and Jordan Love proves year one he's someone you can try to build a team around, you only really get one more year, because that fifth-year option, if you make a Pro Bowl, which, if Jordan Love was good, he would make a Pro Bowl, because every quarterback seemingly makes the Pro Bowl. Mitchell Trubisky made a Pro Bowl. If he is good enough to do that, he's going to get a decent chunk of change if you pick up the fifth-year option now. So you really only get that one extra year of team control, which still has value. I would still be willing to trade something if I'm the Seahawks, but the reality is he might have more value with the Packers as a good backup who is cheap and under control. So because of that, you might not get a ton of value for him. And I think that if you did trade him, I don't know if you're getting a top 50 pick, which is probably what the Packers would want for him. So I think that's part of the issue here. And of course, it should be mentioned, a quarterback can still be valuable after their first 4 years in the NFL. But really, for you to win a Super Bowl with a quarterback, there's exceptions, of course, but they really need to either be elite, they need to play elite in the playoffs, or they need to be cheap. Those are kind of the three ways that you win a Super Bowl. There's been exceptions. Peyton Manning comes to mind, but that's really the only exception in the modern passing era I can think of to that rule. Sadly enough, in parentheses, because I'm a Lions fan, I think he will be good. First round guy, learning under Rodgers, great coach, good supporting cast, currently not elite, but I believe in LaFleur to improve it. I think he will improve and continue the annoying streak of the Packers having great quarterbacks. Yeah, obviously from Favre to Rodgers, and now could be from Rodgers to Love. That would be interesting. And you're right, if we talk about the best predictor for a quarterback being in a good situation, well, you're in a good situation. The only real issue is you can't get playing time. That's the only issue with this situation. But, and for all we know, by the time Rodgers is done, maybe Jordan Love won't be in as good of a situation because of that. I don't know. It is fascinating, but I do think that it's probably fair to say, the situation around him will certainly help him a lot, I think. And, he was kind of more of a developmental guy when he was drafted, so that's good that you're going to an organization that should be good at developing guys. We have another, I think you have to trade Love. Packers drafting him, believing Rodgers' play was going to decrease with age, but then he ended up winning back-to-back MVPs, so I think you trade him to a quarterback-needy team. I kind of almost said that's not going to happen earlier, but I actually do think that, it does make some sense to do it. So that's why I want to get both these comments in there, because I do think that, quite frankly, you probably should trade him. Even if you're only getting a third-round pick back, I think you're right. Go out and try to win a Super Bowl. Yes, in hindsight, if you drafted T. Higgins instead of Jordan Love, that would have been awesome. Even in foresight, that's probably what they should have done. But still, they end up with, I get it. You thought Rodgers' play was going to decline. The exact opposite happened. He, got way better with this pick. So because of that, I do think that even if you're not getting a ton of value for Jordan Love, you'll get some value for him. Someone will take him. So use the value now, be competitive now. You're going to be screwed in a couple years anyways. You might as well try to do your best to win a Super Bowl this year. So while, my first point is still true, I don't think the Packers are going to get a pick that they feel good about back for it, but I think that's a sunk cost fallacy situation of you're not going to get the 24th pick back. You burn that, but you might still get some value back. That's what I think. I'm old enough to remember the same stuff being said about Jordan Love was the same stuff they said about Aaron Rodgers. Let's not forget, the Packers are one of the best organizations out there. If they did not believe in Love to be the future after Rodgers, they would have traded him already. Yep, there's certainly some truth to that. But again, like I said, the ways that you're typically going to be successful in the NFL and be a Super Bowl contending team is if you have an elite quarterback or a cheap quarterback. So if you're going to, not play him when he's cheap, that means he has to be elite. It's not good enough for him to be good enough 4 years from now, whereas it would be this year if he was starting. So the value is, he's losing value each year. He's a depreciating asset, certainly. So that's kind of one of the issues, I would say. But I do also stand by, you're right. He's in a good situation, and there are certain parallels to the Aaron Rodgers situation. Although I still do have to say, just because those two situations are similar in the way that they've started does not mean they will be similar in the way that they work out. Just because Love has started his career similar to how Rodgers did does not mean that he will end it the same way too, of course. And I don't think you're saying that, but I'm just throwing that out there for people who might be. Packers fans, so my opinion is very biased. I think Love has a strong arm, he's mobile, and in his start, he wasn't getting stuck on his first read. That being said, I don't have much else positive to say about him. He lacks confidence. Maybe that's because he hasn't been given a great opportunity, or maybe he's just bad. I liked him coming out of college, so that's why I still have some faith in him. Yeah, I like parts of him coming out of college. Again, the talent is certainly there, but it's not just talent that comes into play when you are a football player. And, that's kind of part of what I think about. You drafted Jordan Love with a first-round pick back then. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but you could have gotten a Malik Willis in round 3 now, and you'd feel a lot better about that, and you'd have more time for something like that. And I think there's similar levels of prospects, in my opinion. I like Malik Willis. I like Jordan Love. I think they're both solid prospects. But I do understand, I understand a lot of this, yeah. Jordan Love is obviously a question mark, and I can't help but feel like after so much time given to understand the speed and such of the NFL behind Aaron, I think he was a first-round pick for a reason, and I see no reason to see him as anything other than a possible future for the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, I think that's fair. I do think that it will help him being behind Aaron Rodgers for so long. I also think it'll help him to get to play some, because again, if I remember correctly, Aaron Rodgers was not great his rookie year as well. Or rookie year as in his first year he got significant playing time. So that might be the case with Jordan Love as well. So you're going to have to give him some time after this happens. And, who knows? Rodgers might play for another, he's under contract for a while. So who knows, what's going to happen with Love. And Jordan Love, quite frankly, might just say, if his contract is up, screw it. I'm going somewhere where I know I can play. I'm not going to sit here and, if Rodgers is still playing and Love's contract is up, he's just going to go play somewhere else, which would make sense. Jordan Love is one of the worst first-round picks in the last 5 years for the simple fact that he has contributed nothing to what we know is a Super Bowl contending roster. We mock the Raiders and Patriots for their first-round picks, but at least they play even if they are bust. None of this is Jordan Love's fault, but we have a minuscule sample size, so any grades of how good or bad he is pure speculation. That's true. I do agree with that. I think that unless Jordan Love is awesome, Jordan Love has to be awesome for this pick to look back on and say, yeah, that actually was a good pick. He can't be, if he's Derek Carr, this is the bad pick. And I like Derek Carr. That's just the expectations have been put on him now because, if T. Higgins, who many thought that the Packers were going to draft at that time, was a Packer, I think they beat Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game. I do. I think that the lack of a number 2 option in that game really hurt Green Bay when Tampa Bay, Davante Adams was still getting his yards, but Carlton Davis did a solid job on him, and they didn't have another guy who could do enough, and Rodgers was really just, I thought Rodgers played great in that game. There was no one open, so what was he going to do? I think that was the difference in that game. I think the Packers probably win the Super Bowl that year if they have T. Higgins on their roster, and they might win it last year as well because, again, this one's not quite as clear if it would have happened, but, having a T. Higgins, having a number 2 option would have really helped, as, again, the 49ers took away Davante Adams. The Packers didn't have much else. So I think that that's like, there's a good chance the Packers have an extra Super Bowl if they drafted what people thought they should have drafted. Now, I will also stand by here and say that that's obviously using hindsight, but still, using hindsight, it's not a very good pick whatsoever. You're right. It's almost better to draft the bust, because at least the bust would have helped you a little, right? No matter, if they drafted Patrick Queen, like, he would have still done some stuff nice for you. He would have been on the field at least. He would have been a player. So it's definitely a bit of hindsight, but the reality is, you're right. Jordan Love has to be awesome for this pick to be worth it. He has to help the Packers win a Super Bowl, in my opinion, for this to be worth it, because I think they would have won a Super Bowl had they drafted T. Higgins, which would have been the other option. So that's how I view it. There's so much we could say about Love, but the thing that strikes me the most is how sad the situation is. I don't care how good he is or isn't, you're not starting him with a future Hall of Famer in the building. I know why Packers drafted him, but for him to be approaching the end of his rookie contract with no real playing time, it sucks. He worked hard to get to the NFL. This is so many people's dreams, and he did it only to waste whatever potential or chance indefinite years he has waiting for A-Rod to retire. He might not be the best. He might be too, especially after sitting behind a legend. We don't know, but plenty of quarterbacks got the chance to at least try to get better in actual games. He's never been afforded that opportunity. Very well said, I think. I totally agree. I mean, Davis Mills has gotten a full season under his belt, might get a second full season under his belt. Jordan Love, who showed way more in college and was a much better prospect coming out of college, has not been given that opportunity. And you're right, that sucks. I would love to see him get an opportunity to play. Again, he wasn't maybe the most hyped up prospect. He was still a late first rounder, which for a quarterback, that's not the most hyped up, but he was still a first round talent. And if I'm Jordan Love, I probably request a trade, right? Like, I probably say, get me out of here. I want to get on the field. That's, I think, what I do. Now, maybe the Packers would give him more time just because of that sunk cost fallacy. They've given so much into Jordan Love that they now want to make sure that they can see if it can pay dividends. That might be the case, and maybe that there's some intelligence there. But yeah, everything I'm saying is, like, the first 4 years, that's when you have your best shot to win the Super Bowl. Really, years 2 through 4 are the main years that you have a chance to be really competitive, and he's not going to get that opportunity. So you're absolutely right. That does suck. But hey, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know. What are your thoughts? Well, really, let me know what your thoughts are on Mac Jones. Put that in the comments below. Tomorrow, we will go over that. So thoughts on Mac Jones, very fun. Always like doing this stuff. So let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.